Hi there, YouTube. It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike, and I'm making kind of a weird video. It's 10:08 p.m. I've got a secret layer cup full of wine, and tomorrow's it's like Christmas Eve right now. Tomorrow is the organized play announcement, the long-awaited organized play announcement, and all the Magic players are going to sleep tonight with their dreams, with their wish lists that they're mailing to Huey Jensen, and they're just dreaming. They're just dreaming of a good day tomorrow. And I made a joke on Twitter earlier that I was going to make pre-reaction videos for every possible outcome to the announcement today. And then the Magic Esports Twitter account said I should upload all of them. So I decided to actually do it. I've made 4 PowerPoints for all 4 possible scenarios that I could see happening with tomorrow's organized play announcements. And I'm being a content creator, I'm creating some content. I'm innovating on the reaction content genre as a whole by making what I'm calling a pre-reaction, where I analyze all the possible outcomes and I just get ahead of the curve. Because tomorrow, everybody's gonna be posting their takes and their memes and their reactions, but I'm posting mine the night before, which is just I don't know, just getting ahead of the curve. So we can just go ahead and jump into what I'm calling Scenario 1. Scenario 1 for the organized play announcement tomorrow, okay? Scenario 1 is the Twitch screen goes live. Huey Jensen has been brought up to the stream in chains, and they announced that Wizards is killing Magic. It's over. The game is done. Arena's going down. Magic Online's going down. Paper Magic cards are all being burned. They're illegal now by the U.S. government. It's all over. And let's look at some reasons why this might happen. Why would Wizards kill Magic the Gathering? And the main reason we have to support this evidence is that Reddit keeps saying it's going to happen. It's just a really common thing that you see here on Reddit and Twitter and YouTube and Twitch, that Wizards is gonna kill Magic the Gathering. They're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it. Spike, it's over. There's no more Magic. Wizards is trying to kill the game. So maybe that's what's happening tomorrow. It's also possible if Wizards kills the game tomorrow that it has something to do with NFTs. I hear that those are pretty big right now, and maybe the Wizards is just gonna pivot into that. And then it is also possible that Huey Jensen will break the chains and reveal himself to be a Yu-Gi-Oh! Sleeper agent. Infiltrated Wizards from the inside, decided to take Magic down from the inside. And then again, I just really want to hammer down every single time there's an announcement like this, Reddit just keeps going, they're gonna do it, they're gonna kill the game, they're gonna kill the game. And so I think that is an absolutely a possible scenario. And you might be wondering, Spike, what happens to you if tomorrow Wizards decides to kill the game? Well, I was thinking that I would just I'd take a big smile and I would immediately pivot to Elden Ring and Dark Souls challenge runs. I'd make some wacky and goofy no-hit run challenges, like using only weapons, and then I think that would quickly move into no one watching the stream, because I'm not only uncoordinated, but I'm just like not that good at these games, and there's tons of other more talented runners, and the market's really saturated, and my channel dies. And what do you do when you're a content creator and your channel dies? That's right, you do a blatant, oh no. Hold on. You do a blatant NFT scam. I'm gonna pump and dump some goofy coin, really take advantage of all the goodwill and trust that you guys have had in me over the years. Gonna pump and dump a goofy coin. Gonna delete all my social media, and then when that money runs out, I'm gonna move back in with my parents after Esther leaves me. This is, Esther, the heart has been scratched out. So I think that's scenario 1. An unlikely scenario. I think it's very unlikely that Wizards kills Magic tomorrow, but since the doom and gloom seems to be so prevalent in the Magic community, I thought we'd go over scenario 1. The next scenario I think is a little bit more likely. I'm calling this scenario 2. Scenario 2, a disappointing announcement, a disappointing new system, which I think that obviously this is pretty clear that this could happen, especially with like the Arena economy stream a couple weeks ago. I think it's very likely that we'll see the announcement and we're going to be disappointed. So what might this look like if we're disappointed by the announcement tomorrow? It could be something similar to the MPL. I've been pretty critical of the MPL over the years. I think it's a big problem that the Magic Pro League was super inaccessible for new players or like, not super established pros to get into. And like when you see a tournament series and organized play system that is inaccessible to most competitive players, like that kills a lot of interest in the game. I do think that one possible upside of a revitalization. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Don't look at that yet. We're not to that slide. One possible upside to the revitalization of the MPL is Nassif would probably make tons and tons of money. He would probably continue to take down every single tournament, and anything that's good for the yellow hat is good for me, I think. So that would be something we'd support our king, Nassif. And so this would also look like, I think, the same kind of set championships we're having where they're not branded like the Pro Tour. They're all on Arena. They're just Arena set championships and no like Players Club system either. So like you can do well enough at these set championships to qualify for the next one and you can compete for that prize pool, but there's no like status you can really obtain. And then I also think it is important to note that it is impossible to completely predict what these outcomes might look like. So something else might happen here. Like we could definitely be disappointed by something else. I don't know everything that could possibly happen. Something else could happen here. Your guess is as good as mine, but I do think that this is not the only way we could be disappointed, but I think this is maybe like the most likely way a disappointing announcement happens tomorrow. And then what would I do in this scenario is I would kind of just probably do the same stuff I'm doing now. If you don't know this story of mine, I used to be, a paper grinder, went to the Pro Tour a few times. I was in a position where like I had a really good chance of like making silver and gold one season, and then they like as soon as I was in that position, they like pulled the Pro Tour system away, and that's when I started streaming. And obviously like the stream has been going really well. I'm really enjoying it. I think I would continue to enjoy and interact with the game in the same way I have been. Assuming this organized play announcement is disappointing. So that's scenario 2, disappointing announcement. Scenario 3. Scenario 3, and this is also, I think, somewhat likely. Maybe I'll look kind of silly saying this tomorrow, but scenario 3 is the announcement is good, actually. I think this could happen. I actually, if I had to guess, I would say that of the 4 scenarios I have prepared for today, I think that this is probably the most likely. I think that it's been years. They've spent a lot of time on this. They have Huey Jensen working on it, who's someone I respect and admire and have some faith in. Obviously, he is just one employee at a large company. But I think that there's a good chance that we'll be at least somewhat happy with the announcement tomorrow. We could look back at this and laugh, ha ha ha, you were wrong. But I'm a little optimistic about tomorrow. And what might a good announcement look like tomorrow? Okay, so I think what an announcement that people are excited about would be a return to paper GPs for all paper formats, standard, pioneer, modern, legacy, maybe even some like other formats occasionally. I think that like that's obviously like I think the main thing people really want is a return to paper GPs. I think that we've seen tournament series return already and start to be successful with the SCG, with CFB Vegas, with the NRG series, and people are really, really hungry for Wizards-sponsored GPs. These events were so good in the past. They were just the best weekends you could ever have, or at least the best weekends nerds like us could have, maybe. But this is what we want. You might be wondering what these cards here, but these are all like very nostalgic cards for me. So I've just gone ahead and put all these nostalgic cards on this slide to emanate the feelings I get from this announcement. So, and then I also think a good announcement would be a system resembling the old Pro Tour system, which would be paper Pro Tours. I think that's really like the biggest thing for me as far as like the announcement tomorrow regarding the Pro Tours. Are the Pro Tours going to be in paper or arena? And it's like, I do think you can have interesting arena tournaments. I think that they should still have big arena tournaments. I think that having big arena tournaments is like super accessible for new players, super accessible for players who want to be competitive and they can try to compete on these arena series. But I also think that like the most interest and like the most prestige and what's the right word? I think that the most hype built around these pro tours would be if they were paper. People always talk about how Arena is so much better to watch than Magic Online, but paper is so much better to watch than either Magic Online or Arena. Paper is so much more interesting to watch, and that's really, I think, the main thing I want to see in the pro tour. Are they going to be paper events? I also think it would be great to have club status back. Obviously, like, Wizards has really expressly stated that they're not interested in like the Platinum Club benefits, the Hall of Fame benefits, the MPL benefits, that like they don't really want to continuously pay players like a salary. They've said that a lot. But I do think it would be good to have financial incentives for doing well. I do think that there's probably some kind of good compromise between like expecting to make a real salary grinding the pro tours and grinding paper Magic and like making no money at all. I think that there probably is like a realm between those two things. So that would, I think, look like, also, if you do really well at several pro tours in a row, you get to be qualified for a while and you get to play on these pro tours for a long time. And I think that that is really important because, you know, it kind of leads me into my next point. I think ultimately the most important thing for whatever the new organized play system looks like is that their organized play structure incentivizes new competitive players to pick up the game. And I can't hit this point hard enough that the biggest problem with our current organized play system is that I don't feel like there are many new players picking up the game. Whereas when I, and probably a lot of you watching this video, started to play, the environment was thriving, and you would tell your friends about the Pro Tour GP system. People would get into it. People would be really enfranchised. And I feel like the people who watch my channel and the people who play Modern, and like a lot of people who are like even interested in competitive Magic at all, are like really disproportionately disenfranchised players who are really enamored with the old system and hope that something resembling it comes back. And I think it's a big issue for Wizards and for the game as a whole that I could be out of touch, just like an out of touch, boomer with this statement, but I just don't think that there's like, this system incentivizes new players to pick up the game. And like at the end of the day, like even if the announcement is drastically different from the rest of the bullet points, or maybe not drastic, I think paper GPs are pretty important, but even if like the rest of the points are different, I would be pretty happy if I felt like the new system was like exciting for old players, exciting for new players, and like just generally accessible. And like one of the biggest issues with the MPL system was that it was like all of a sudden, like it was all of a sudden like maybe like grinding GPs and PPTQs, RPTQs was like you were playing college football and you were hoping maybe one day you'd be drafted to the NFL, and you had that dream of being drafted to the NFL and playing the Pro Tour system. But then when the MPL, it was just so inaccessible. It was such an unrealistic goal to try to grind and make the MPL that it all of a sudden became like you were just playing high school football, or you were just like sitting on the couch watching fantasy football, which is a lot less exciting. And so what would I do if the announcement was like this tomorrow? I would be I would be on that grind. I would still be definitely streaming like I am. I would still definitely be writing for Channel Fireball, assuming, right? And working really hard on the content, but I would also be grinding tournaments again. I'd be ideally traveling to a lot of paper tournaments on the weekends, playing a lot of PTQs, which I'm not playing a lot of PTQs at the moment, just like really, really grinding, hopefully getting that fire back inside of me and wanting to play a lot of tournaments again. And so this would be an ideal scenario, and I'm hopeful that we have something resembling this tomorrow. I do have one more scenario prepared, one more possible scenario, one that I think is perhaps not as unlikely as scenario 1, but still pretty unlikely. But scenario 4, all my dreams come true, all my wildest fantasies about what Magic as a game could be come true tomorrow. And this is, it kind of feels like Christmas Eve. Like there is a chance that some of my wish list gets checked off tomorrow, and I'd be really happy if I got some of these points. So what would all my dreams coming true look like? So I think one of the biggest wish list things I have, which I don't, oh, sorry, I keep doing this. I'm not a PowerPoint user. I'm an MTGO user. One of the biggest points I would like to have happen tomorrow is bringing back the branding of the Pro Tour. You know, obviously, like, I think that has issues calling it the Pro Tour because they think that like gives them some kind of legal commitment to like enable players to play Magic full time. That's not something they feel like they want to be on the hook for. But the branding of the Pro Tour has a lot of history and prestige, and I think bringing back that branding would be good for the game. It'd be good for the players. It's just also something that means a lot to me too personally. It means a lot to a lot of you too, I'm sure. I'd also love to see the kind of policy of play the game, see the world come back. I also think this is really unlikely, especially because like COVID is still very much real. But the one day the potential that if you like this, and this is how it used to be. This is how I qualified for a couple pro tours back in the day. But you would qualify for a pro tour, and that translated for a paid flight from Wizards to a destination wherever the Pro Tour was. And that could be in Kyoto, Japan. It could be in Hawaii. It could be in Madrid. It could be in London. It could be all across the world. And like this was an awesome experience that a lot of players got to experience for the first 25 years of Magic's history. And I would love to see a newer generation, a younger, hungry generation experience it for the next 25 years. I would love to see the Magic community across the world getting together, experiencing the gathering together. I'm really passionate about it. I also think it's really unlikely that this comes back ever, unfortunately. But this is, again, all my dreams coming true. And then GPs every weekend, baby. It used to be the case that sometimes you'd have three in the weekend, three on a weekend all across the world. Just coverage every single weekend. Get back some of like the GOATs doing it. Get Randy Buehler on coverage. Just, like that would be just so exciting and like definitely like getting a fire back in the community. I would also love to see modern Pro Tours. This is, very much a personal wish list kind of thing, but I think modern Pro Tours would be really cool and exciting and dynamic, especially in paper. It'd be something I'd like to see. And then I also think that like ultimately like the biggest thing on my wish list is that this is kind of tying back to like an earlier point in scenario 3, but I really want a new system that encourages new players to play the game for years to come, because I think that's just like the biggest problem that needs to be solved, is that we just have like I just feel like maybe it's my community or maybe it's Magic Twitter or what, my friend group, but it just feels like all the Magic players I know and talk to are like somewhat disenfranchised Magic players who became enfranchised and excited about the game from the old system. And I'd really like to see new players become enfranchised with the new system and ideally have somewhat of a bright future from tomorrow's announcement. And obviously I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I don't think that this scenario is likely at all. I do expect to like I am optimistic for tomorrow. I am definitely optimistic for tomorrow. But it is also true that like scenario 2 could happen. I don't think scenario 1's happening at all. I could walk away disappointed from tomorrow. But these are my thoughts. And I guess we will be talking about whatever happens on stream tomorrow. So I know this has been kind of a unorthodox video. I think it probably turned out pretty well. I'm gonna watch it back and then upload it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it.